Okay, so I have imported a few icons that I have got from my public images folders that I need to render on this page. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to check whether the store offers delivery and click and collect services. So I am going to create a function just before I return that renders out for each store whether they have the delivery and click and collect as true. So just below on the bottom, I'm going to create a div. I will add curly braces to let Next.js know that this is going to be JavaScript, and I am going to create a function named render features, like so. So if I create this function, so function is const render features, which is a function like so. I'm going to add a few checks to see whether they offer delivery or click and collect, or if they offer nothing. So first check is going to be if they have both click and collect and delivery. So if click and collect and delivery is true, like so, I want to return a div named features row, which I will define in my style component. So if I copy this, add that in here, like so, go into my styles and paste that in, and then go back into my store card component. I'm just going to copy what I have. So within this block, I'm going to paste in a div. I want to import the image tag from next. That source will be the delivery icon, which I have imported. It will have a width of 30 pixels and a height of 30 pixels and object fit of contain. So that will be the image. And then after that, we will have the delivery as text along with the same with the click and collect. So if the features row has the click and collect, it will render them both. So if I save and check, we now have certain stores with delivery and click and collect. Now what we need to do is the same for delivery only and collection only. So if I just copy what I have again and paste underneath. So if there is delivery, we want to return the features row and we want to have a div just saying the same delivery icon along with the delivery, again using the next image tag, and then the same with the click and collect also. If neither are there, then we just want to return null. So nothing will get rendered out. So now we have them all rendered out. If the prop has click and collect or delivery of true, it will render them both. If, for example, click and collect is true on this one and there is no delivery, it will only render the click and collect icon. So for this Sainsbury's local, we only have the click and collect icon here. So now it's just a case of styling. So what I'm going to do is if I go into my styles file on the store card, I am going to copy my code from my container. So if I paste that in, for each container, I'm going to add a padding of 18 pixels at the top and bottom and 20 pixels on the left and right. We're going to add a border bottom of this lighty grayish color and have a max width of 600 pixels. I want to access my theme file, so I get my props and return the props.theme.white, like so. And then when I hover over, I want this as a background color. So this will be this lightish grayish color. My H3 tags, so these headings, what I'm going to give them is a font family of Gotham. I'm going to remove the font family because I have declared that in my global CSS. The font size of 1.4 rem, a line height of 26 px. I'm going to change this color now to the theme color. So that will be the primary color for the heading. We're going to give it some margin here along with some white space and a text overflow of ellipsis. This basically adds 3 dots to the end if the max width is exceeded. So if the 600 pixels is exceeded and the text is too long, then it cuts out characters and the font weight of bold. Same with the p tags, adding the text overflow ellipsis, and we're going to hide any overflows. So if I save all, so now as you can see, each component, if I hover over it, has the hover effect and it has some sort of form of styling. Now what I need to do is style the top row, But before I do that, I need to add the logos before the store names. So the way to do that is, if the store delivers, then they have this logo, and click and collects also. And if they don't offer the delivery services or the click and collect services, then the store will have this sort of orangey reddish color. Okay, so what I need to do is, back in my index, I need to add further to my top row. So I'm going to render the icons beforehand, and I also am going to render this arrow chevron on the right of every single top row. So if I go into my index, in my top row, I'm going to create a div like so. And in this div is going to have 3 containers. First container is the icon container like so. And then within the icon container, I want to render a next image component with the source equal to. So if delivery is true or click and collect is true, then we want to render the services icon, which I have imported. Otherwise, we want to render the non-services icon like so. We're going to give this a width equal to 20 pixels and a height equal to 35 pixels. And I am also going to give it an object fit of contain. And then we close off the image tag like so. I then need to copy the icon container and add it into my styled imports, and then also export const this icon container, which is equal to a style.div like so. So now that I have that and I save, slight little error here. We need to remove this extra curly brace, and we also need to remove this extra one. So now save, and it should render the icon. So now it's just a case of styling along with adding an extra chevron container. So I'll just quickly copy what I have. It's basically the same as the icon container, and we imported the source for the right chevron over here. So now if I go into my styles, I need to style this. So I also need to add in the image container, icon container, and the chevron container like so. And I also need to import that in my index file. Okay, so now I have everything I need on the page. It's just a case of styling them out, and I will use the flexbox to do so. So if I go into my styles, first thing I want to do is the top row. So if I look at this one here, I want to display of flex, align item centrally, and save. I also want to justify the content as space between for the outer div, so that will be, these two are wrapped in a div and this is separate. So in the top row, I have a div. What I need to do is push this chevron container outside of this div, and now save. So that pushes the arrow all the way across. Now I need to style the div inside this top row. So I basically need to copy this, render it inside the div like so, and justify content as flex start. So everything is at the start. So for the icon container, I just want to give it a margin right, so it's 5 pixels, just so that the title is spaced away from the icon itself. The chevron container is at the flex end. Now, final thing needed to do is style the features row. So display, flex, line items center, and save. Now, what we need to do is the div inside the features row. So if I just copy this across into the div below and save. So all I want to do within this div is get the p tag and give this a margin left of 10 pixels, just so the click and collect and the icon are separated, and save. So now that should all be complete. We have successfully mapped through the store API, and we have styled it out just so it looks similar to the one on the Costa website. In the next video, we're going to start getting the map component ready and map that out, and we will add this to the locations page, and that's all coming next.